Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Desperate Measures. How are you guys doing today? Mr. Mrmouton, you look fierce.
Very fierce.
So good at that. As you can
I don't know
tell,
what they traveled like 300 miles a day so far. It's been good. It's been a good day.
that's a long-ass drive, dude. That's
Yeah,
like a
man.
5-hour drive.
In Texas, not so much because you get that 75, 80 mile an hour
Oh,
get going and you're good to go.
Oh, that would be nice.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, interstates. I don't understand if any other states don't have 75 on them for that. Like, why? Like, why do you want to go so slow?
Yeah. That shit's
Because
changing,
it's a
though.
lot of time, brother.
Yeah.
Got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
I
not
guess 75 around the islands would be
Speed
pretty
limit.
quick.
Speed limit will be 55. They're going 48. No reason. Speed limit 60. Going like 55 or something. I'm just sitting there like, I want to get home.
I need to go. Yeah, there's a speed trap around where I live that's notorious for going from like 65 and then all of a sudden it drops down to like 55 or even 50 and people just wait like around this little stretch that goes from somewhere around Cleveland and I forget where specifically. I actually think it has a Wikipedia entry. Oh, that's what it's called, the Lindale Speed Trap. Yeah, if you're ever around there, watch out. Those people make
Famous.
bank off of actually I don't know if they might have done away with it, but they make bank around getting caught.
Well, I think when you get a Wikipedia article about you, you got to move it. You know, you got to move it somewhere.
Yeah,
I
probably.
don't know. People still do that. I mean, there are
Sure.
definitely some speed limits here that I ignore.
Sure. Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, your last character, unfortunately, is no longer with us. They
Yeah, he got
forever
super
rest in
rough.
peace. What is the name of your new character?
Okay, my new character's name is Vaughn.
How do you spell
Vaughn.
it? Excellent. And what was the order of stats that you ended up with? It was 18, 16, 18.
Yep, 18, 16, 18, 7.
Uh-huh.
9 willpower, 11 charisma, 14 perception.
Okay, and you have 9 HP. And I believe you have 12 AC?
Yes, that's correct. 2 from the dex bonus.
Perfect. I just want our overlays to be nice and updated.
Mhm.
Lovely. Now you are Vaughn. Fantastic. So, what happened last week? Why are you having to change your character's name? Let's get a quick recap from the whole party. What went down?
So my guy went out, tried to be the big man in front with his 12, I think max HP is what he had before. And I think he got crit, almost double crit, but I think I remembered that tumbling was 4 AC instead of 2 AC, so that downgraded it to just a single crit. And then Bugbear came up.
And then actually double crit.
You'd actually double crit his head clean off. Not off, but like out. Yeah.
It's a Gallagher show. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's essentially what happened to Callum. Rest in peace. Yeah.
Well, the rest of the party succeeded in your mission. What did you succeed in?
We saved our cleric from dying, I think.
Yep.
We explored the cave a little bit, and then I think Jebediah got us through our survival problems.
Yep.
Good.
Something like that. Yep. Yeah, we made some money.
Yes, you did, but not enough, as I recall, right?
No. Yeah, we only found 60 coins out of the 100 that we need. We ended up giving 50 to the dude, and then we're keeping 10 gold coins. The plan is to go use these 10, make our way to Stromheim, and exchange them for silver, so we can game the system.
Good idea. Brilliant idea.
Here's to hoping they don't kill us on sight.
Yeah. And do we know how many days it took you to do all of
9.
this? It took you 9 days? Okay.
9
I
days.
believe so.
Most of that was waiting for Ebnur to get healed up.
Correct. I believe 6 of that was for Ebnur.
Yep.
It'd take us 9, right? We were like a third of the way through the month, and we needed we needed to do. We had another 2/3 to go, if I recall correctly. Something like that.
Okay. And let me just put your former character's name was Callum.
Callum.
Callum with an M.
Yeah, with an M.
All right, I got to make a little skull, some crosses for the eyes, so that we know you died on that date. And you saw some hill giants. What?
True.
A few days afterwards. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They came into town. I don't remember what they did though. I'm not gonna lie. Did we ever figure that out?
No.
Connor?
What do you mean?
No one ever really asked about it. It seemed that it was a thing that they were sort of here, but then they were gone, and no one was really bothered. Yeah. Okay. So, Vaughn, you have arrived in Talon. Why have you arrived in Talon? Why are you here?
Talon or were we in
Tassel?
Tassel?
I'm sorry, Tassel, not Talon.
Why I'm here? Well, I suppose my character has spent the last very long period of his life doing nothing but mining and mining and mining because this whole thing with Scoria is just so incredibly it places a lot of pressure on miners to get those precious metals, because if they don't come up with those things, then people would be very upset to figure out that they weren't able to pay the dragon. So I think his personal backstory is that he's spent the last long period of his life mining, and he sort of comes back to his town and he kind of finds it in no better shape than when he left it, which I guess his assumptions would be that, you know, he was doing this for a good cause. Like, this is going to help where I live. And he spent years upon years upon years of doing nothing but this. And it's just, everybody is still basically back at square one. And so he's very upset as far as the fact that he spent the last period of his life spinning his wheels doing absolutely nothing. So I think he's just looking for another way to try and break the cycle, do something else, be helpful or useful in some way that's not just spinning his wheels, you know, getting precious metals to go away to a dragon.
Yeah.
That eventually people down the line are the same way that they came.
Right.
Yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So you have come here to try and find some riches and join in and stop breaking your back for other people?
Yeah, basically. I mean, not in like a selfish way, but like he just wants to be productive. He wants to try and do something that's going to get us somewhere that's not just going to be eternal.
You want to make
labor.
some real progress.
Yeah, exactly. That's his goal.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, you step off the boat, hike your way up the switchback staircase, the 200 feet or so that it is, 180 I think exactly, and find yourself in the ruins of Tassel. Bricks lay strewn about, some of them singed, some of them pristine. Burned structures lie all over the place. Some rubble has been moved around to allow some streets for people to go through, and a small makeshift camp has been erected at the top of the staircase. As you step up and search around, you notice the familiar cleric Ebnur, who's hanging around. You know Ebnur to be the cleric from Latrine, which is not your home village, but a nearby one.
Right. Sure.
I don't think. Do you know either Jebediah or Joka?
I don't think
so.
I don't think I would have met them yet. No, but I
Okay.
would know Ebnur just because he's a cleric. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna start with you then. What do you do?
So I meet Ebnur.
Well, you see Ebnur. He's in the middle of talking
see
with
him.
somebody else right now.
Oh boy. Well, I guess I go up to talk to Ebnur. I guess I say something like, How would I introduce myself?
Yeah, what do you say?
Are you Ebnur, the local cleric here?
Not here. Latrine, though.
Latrine, interesting. I think my half-brother lived near Latrine.
What's
Would
his
you
name?
happen to know? His name was Callum. Have you seen him, heard of him? Been doing anything over there?
He shakes his head and kind of jabs a thumb towards Jebediah and says, I'm not good with words. You should talk to that one.
Jebediah, have you, is that your name? Have you heard of a guy named Callum?
Oh, Callum? Yeah, he'd been traveling with us, for a while, and, well, I hate to say it, but about a day ago, or a couple days ago, about a week ago, he was killed. We were in a cave. A bugbear got him.
Oh my.
Indeed, it was quite a gruesome sight to behold.
Well, if I know Callum, oh shoot, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just can't believe that. What? I knew that he had a wife, and I knew that anytime I tried to come over and help him, he would always tell me that he didn't need any help, didn't want any help from me. I've just been up here mining for the past years of my life. I had no idea. He got killed by a bugbear, you said.
A bugbear, big nasty fella.
Did you get it back?
Oh, we definitely got him back. Exacted right justice on that big bastard.
Good, because I don't know if I could let something like that go.
No, I perfectly understand, my friend.
Yeah.
We even gave Callum as proper a burial as we could.
Okay. Do you know where you buried him?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, I do. We buried him in the ruins of a little town called Limestone.
Limestone. All right. At some point, I should like to travel there myself.
We might be traveling there. It's not much there, but it's a decent resting place. We found a nice little building that you could crawl into underneath all the rubble, and
Sure.
have a safe place to sleep.
I wouldn't want to disturb you and your companions here. I would probably, if anything, I would venture there myself. But
I would not recommend.
I would not go there myself, my friend. It is
It is
not a solo journey.
quite dangerous out there. Like, just the other day, we saw a trio of giants just walking along the plains, and you know how those fellas get back home. Hill giants.
Indeed. Okay.
You know, the ones that come in, break through your town when you ain't paying your taxes.
Oh my.
I don't know if these was the same ones, but I'm not trying to tempt that fate.
I wouldn't want to cross paths with those, man.
No, definitely not. I think we were gonna head towards Hot Pot or something to the east, and then head on north from there. If you wanted to tag along with us, it might take you closer to Limestone.
Well, if you were friends of Callum, then you're friends of mine. I would definitely be honored to travel with you if you'd have me. I'm just looking to do something good for people. I've been spending the last 6 to 10 years in these here mountains trying to mine some gold for Scoria and wherever else it goes, but it doesn't seem to go into here. People here seem to be just as destitute as they were when I left, so I'm just looking to do something good for people, that's all.
That's all right. I think you'll be a fine addition. I'm sorry you couldn't have met your brother here. Had a great reunion.
He's pretty misty-eyed, but he goes, I understand. At some
Ebnur
point, I'm sure
hurries over while you guys are chatting, with a note in his hand that's been delivered by some other person that was on the same boat as you. This is one of those resupply boats that comes by every now and then. And he looks at the three of you. Mostly he's looking at Jebediah and Joka and goes, I need a couple days. You can do Stromheim on your own, right? Silver for gold.
I suppose.
Yeah, we can get
Good,
silver.
good. And he hurries off and like starts running down the stairs without another word.
But oh,
I don't speak Eridonian.
that was gonna be my point. Neither do I. We
You seem
might
to be
need.
quite a hurry.
If, Vaughn, do you happen to speak Eridonian?
No, I never been there. Never heard of anyone from there.
Well, congratulations, you have now been to Eridon. Welcome to the wonderful kingdom of Eridon, and in it all of its glory.
Definitely all of its glory.
Maybe we'll find a little more glory when we go to Stromheim.
Well, if we don't have someone who can speak the language, maybe we could look for something a little more, I don't know, up to speed that doesn't require talking, per se. Maybe we could run down some more goblins or find something else on that vein.
We could,
That would seem to be an interesting idea, yeah.
yeah, we could do that. Find some goblins.
I'm not quite sure. Maybe we could ask around town. Is there a?
Well,
is
we
there
can
any-
ask our friend who kind of runs this place if there's any leads that he's heard of before we just set off randomly.
I
I
agree.
wish I knew more people around here, but I've been sitting up in that mine for the past 5 years of my life, and unfortunately,
even
I
if
don't
you-
know too many of the local townsfolk here.
Well, that makes three of us then.
You could ask Garrett. He's kind of neutral. Everybody else is here for the same purpose as you. So if they have a lead on something, they're unlikely to give it to you because it's their lead, right?
Yeah, we'll go ask Garrett. You know, like the standard. He like, I'm sure he hears things and then he'll like hand out leads one at a time. Because it's probably a lot more inconvenient to hand everyone the same lead and then have them all fight each other in town.
So you go up to Garrett. He's sitting underneath his little shade structure with his makeshift desk in front of him, a strong box of coins closed, a weapon like a dagger sitting on the table just to remind you that he's armed, and then also his axe and sword at his side. And as you come over, gives you an approachful nod.
Mr. Garrett, we were wondering if you had any leads that we could follow on potential goblin cave locations or something of that sort.
Peatsburg.
Pittsburgh?
It's you follow the canal south from here. There's some forests, some mires, some hills. There's a forest nearby called the bogwood, for obvious reasons. As I was traveling up from Peatsburg last time with a haul of iron ore that I pulled out one of those bogs, I saw some lights in a cabin. I didn't get too close, but there's people that way, or creatures that way. Maybe they know something. Other than that, it's been pretty good pickings nearby. I think all the easy stuff's been taken. You might have to go up towards the Metallic Hills near Smuggler's Pass to find anything that direction. I don't know.
Oh, that is quite a ways. But thank you for the information, Mr. Garrett. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, you take the canal, past the big peninsula. Eventually you'll hit Peatsburg when it heads east again. But the lights were closer to the forest, north of that.
I understand.
Good luck.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Give a little bow and shuffle on out.
Yeah. Before we go, how long does it take to make a So we got that elk skin or whatever from the dude.
Right.
How long does it take to turn that into like basically a leather shirt, the leather chest armor?
Let's see. Leatherworking. Each piece is broken into number of subsets. Each subset takes a proficiency check to make. Each checks take 1 week of work.
1 week of work? All right.
Yeah. Provided the worker has proper tools. Without proper tools, no checks can be made, or with crappy tools, maybe a penalty can be made or something. So for what you've got here, you have a leatherworking proficiency, right?
Yeah.
You are in an old abandoned town. You can probably find most of the resources here somewhere, even like, maybe poor quality versions, but you could find all the things that you would need in town.
Yeah.
So I think you can make a check at -2, or you can take maybe like a week and a half and do it at a regular check.
Okay.
And that would just be for the breastplate.
Yeah. When we get back, let's on our way, let's look for some larger animals so I can get us all some more proper protective gear.
I would agree. After that goblin
Absolutely.
cave, that
Yes.
was
The only problem is this is going to take a lot of time.
well. I wonder if we could use the river to get down there faster than walking.
I don't know. From what I heard, this is the only town on the whole canal that has the stairs up there, and everywhere else it's pretty difficult. I don't think we'd be able to make it up to Peatsburgh. But I don't know. I don't know the lay of this land as well as I did back home.
I understand. Well, maybe next time we could look for a place to use the river at. Be a little more useful, I think. If not, I think we probably need to get on our way. We're gonna run out of time here.
Yep. Let's get some supplies up here and be on our way.
Sounds good. I believe you're still holding on to all the copper, so I think you'll need to be making these purchases.
Yes, indeed. How much is it for rations, Neil?
Got that new economics guide too, didn't we?
Oh, right.
There have been some updates to it here and there. 60 copper for a day's worth of food. It's expensive.
I can afford 1 day's worth of food.
Well, it looks like we'll need to forage and hunt our way south then.
Indeed it is. To be able to find more money.
I do have quite a few dry rations in my pack. Y'all are welcome to it if it comes down to that.
Well, Vaughn, I think that's good, but maybe we keep those for backups in case we don't have a good day. We try to conserve those.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Someone draw me the path that you're going to take from Tassel to where you want to go. And remember to not draw it like this is shenanigans.
Oh, okay.
I had to put that in there for Connor. Someone draw.
Cotter, you got it?
I wish I knew anything.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably like this. That's
Nice and easy. You're just going to follow the canal.
just follow the canal.
Sure.
Yep.
So that's about 30 miles. It should take you about 2 days to get there. This first day should let you easily get to the hills. You'll probably get somewhere in this range on that first day. And then it'll be the majority of the second day, probably all of the second day until evening to get to Peatsburgh itself. And tonight, I believe, is the night of the full moon? Or the almost full moon? Sorry. An ultimate night of the full moon. So, off we go. And you are going to be hunting as you go, or gathering as you go, right?
Oh, both. I believe I'm the survival man, and I believe Connor's going to be hunting.
Yeah.
though.
Okay, so if you can do your survival, you can do your survival checks while moving at half speed, or at least 2 of them.
It had a pretty strict way about it. Like, there's only so many hours you had to do it, right? It was pretty
Right.
descriptive.
Let's see, non-weapon proficiencies. And then if you hunt, that will probably take... That's one of those things that, how do you say? Yeah, I guess we can do hunting at half speed and gathering at half speed. As long as
So just move
you're
at a
broken.
total.
Yeah, as long as you're a little bit far away from everything. Survival. So you don't want the hunter to get to... You don't want the animals to be spooked by the non-hunters messing it up. Let's see. Forager. Overland travel while foraging can be accomplished by reducing movement speed to 1/4 during the time foraging. Ooh, that's slow. Okay, so that would actually take you 8 days if you're going to forage your way across.
Well, really, all we have to do is.
Well, it's a quarter of the time that we're foraging. So if we only forage for, it takes
that's
2
right.
hours to find one set of food, and all I have to do is forage for half a day. So I'm moving half.
Yeah, we'll just say
quarter
half.
speed for half day, and then yeah.
Yeah, I think it's technically like 9/16 or something, but let's just say half.
Yeah, just call it half and make it easy.
Perfect. All right, so give me 2 foraging checks, and Connor, give me a hunting check as you guys move out. Oh, lovely. And then roll me 2d2, Wilbur.
Oh, perfect.
All right, well, you're going to get 4 days of food.
Ooh.
Connor, you can come across... you come across a... What do you call them? The big hairy goats that aren't the mountain goats. What are they called?
Goats.
Bighorn sheep.
Illy
There we
goats.
go.
Oh, no.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, you come across a bighorn sheep.
Perfect. I get within 100 yards of that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Perfect. Just a sec. And then each skill check is 10 feet closer, or 10 yards closer.
20 yards closer?
20 yards closer? Okay.
Let me double check that shit. Da-da-da-da-da, each proficiency check gets you 20 yards closer. And also give me D100 plus 100 for how close you are right now. It's 100 to 200 yards.
Okay.
It's 141 yards. We'll just call it 140 for simplicity's sake.
Sure.
You can stalk towards 120. You can see the bighorn sheep is just grazing silently on the grass. You're carefully moving closer.
All right.
How close are you trying to get?
Within 70 feet.
70
then it's only-
feet?
Or 70 yards, excuse me.
Okay. Woo, so you're at 120. You need to close another 50 yards. That's 3 more
Excellent.
checks. That's going to be tough.
It is. You know what? I'm at 120, so I am at max range. Like,
Okay.
at max range right now. So I have to get at least one more check, I'd say.
Well, Vaughn, this is always a pleasure to watch them stalk these animals. I can't wait to watch this go down.
That's
Okay.
unbelievable.
100 yards out.
One touchdown away. So at this point, I'll pull out my bow. Not wanting to risk getting any closer. A bighorn sheep is a lot of food.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say this could feed all of us for today.
Oh, easily. Could feed, if you can preserve it or cook it, it'll feed you guys for a couple days. It's like 300 pounds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we do have cooking shit.
We do.
Well, by that I mean we have sticks that we can cook it on. Yeah. So I'd say surprise on this guy.
Oh yeah, +4 because it doesn't see you coming.
All right,
You
so
got yourself in a good spot here.
+4 and my normal +2. Okay. Yeah, so a total of +1 because -5 for range.
Oh god.
Joker, that thing's huge.
I hope he
13.
gets it.
Let's take a look at sheep AC. I believe a 13's a hit, but I'm gonna verify. I doubt sheep have 14 AC. They're not
I
worth-
really, I really
That
don't
would
like
be really
pulling these berries off these bushes. It kind of hurts my fingers. I hope he makes the shot. I really do.
Mammal. Sheep.
I've been eating nothing but dry rations up in those mines for the past 5 years, so this is going to be a hell of a meal for me.
AC 13. You hit it. The arrow strikes home in the sheep's shoulder. Roll me damage.
Let's get some damage, boys. Yes.
Maximum damage. The arrow sinks in. The sheep goes to like lunge away, but its shoulder is like crooked from the arrow in it, and it begins to bound off. It goes at the same movement speed as you, but I'm going to call this thing wounded because you are hunting it, not just, shooting at an enemy. So let's roll initiative between you and the sheep, and we'll see what happens. Oh, that's kind of slow. The sheep is even slower with a 9 and 3 is 12. Ooh, just barely slower. You get one shot off right now and one shot off at the end of the round.
Wait, wouldn't I get a second shot for the surprise round?
Let me see if the sheep is surprised or if it can react right away.
I mean, if I got that... All right.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird mechanical thing where you get 2 attacks per round, but like the sheep is going to move the moment it gets hit sort of thing. It's a weird spot.
Well, we'll just say I only get one shot because that was like a very carefully aimed shot from...
You're taking your time.
From bumfuck New Mexico.
From 100 yards away.
Yep.
All right, so you've still got a shot.
But this sheep looks badly wounded, right?
Yeah, this sheep is in shit shape. It is turning and fleeing. It's at 100 yards still. You won't get the +4 to hit, but you will get +2 because its back is to you, but it's no longer surprised.
Would you say it's in bad
Make a
shape?
half move
It's
and
in
take that shot.
bad shape. Yeah, you can make your half move and take a shot. We're gaming the system, but you can do it.
Will that get me
That'll get you
270 yards?
That'll get you 60 yards closer, which will bring you to 40 yards.
Perfect. That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
And then
So
back attack.
Yeah, I think you hit the sheep. It sort of stumbles and struggles, gets to its feet, and starts moving, but the arrow's in its joint, and you bolt closer, and just as the sheep begins to flee at full speed, you snag it a second time. Don't do minimum damage. It's got 2 arrows in it, but it is bounding away. And since you did a half move, you only get your 1 attack. The sheep starts to sprint, leaving a trail of blood behind as it disappears into the tall grass of the plains. And let's move your token a little bit closer. The rest of the party has observed these actions and can come out to play. There's a nice blood trail going with it.
I believe you got it, Jeb. Maybe we just...
Shot.
That was a great first shot.
Oh, thank you. And I'll probably yell thank you, and then next round, how far does it move?
It goes 120 yards.
Can it though?
Yeah,
Is it
I mean, if you're at 1 HP, you can still run. So it hobbles and pulls itself, and it goes into the grasses. And then at some point, like you lose it in the high grass. Its coat sort of blends in, and everything's blowing in the wind already.
Well, this happens to be the second part of hunting, tracking it with its blood trail.
Yes.
Do I get any advantages for tracking a blood trail?
Yeah, I think if you just make me a hunting check, you can just track the same animal. I think that's an appropriate way of doing it.
God damn it.
Well, you do have 2 other people with you here. Do either of you have tracking?
I don't have
I have tracking.
You have tracking? Okay, give me a tracking check as well. Double up, Hunter. There you go. Yeah, so the whole party takes a detour. You guys go off to the side, wandering through the high grasses, until you find the bighorn sheep. It has curled up next to a small pool of water and is sipping at it. Jeb is in the lead, pushing the grasses aside, following this little trail of footprints. Looks like most of the blood is getting caught in its wool, which is why you weren't able to follow the blood trail. And you can part the grasses in front of you just enough to see the sheep curled up by the small watering hole.
another +4 for it not knowing anything.
Yep. If you can keep your allies quiet. There you go. It was at 1 HP already, so you finally bring it down. The bighorn is dead. Long live the bighorns.
Oh man, this is gonna make a delicious meal.
Oh,
They've already
this is,
set us up next to some water too, so we don't even have to go looking for that. That's phenomenal.
Absolutely, I
just
can't wait.
remember to fill up your water skins. If it wasn't so early, this would actually be a marvelous place to camp for the night.
I know. How much time has passed, Neil? Just out of
It's about
curiosity.
halfway through the day.
Halfway.
Yep.
Well, I can definitely cook this if you can start cleaning it for me. I don't know.
Absolutely, and we could actually go little about just all the way to complete darkness before we stop
Well,
with the sheep if we
Well-
cook and clean it now.
well, I don't know. Is there too many trees around? If not, it would be nice to get near some sticks and have some firewood for this. Other than doing it on the grass, it'd just be a easier cooking adventure, I think. Is there any way we could maybe gut this thing here and just drag it along with us, or is this going to be too heavy?
You can stop and butcher it enough that you can carry some slabs of meat in a bag and then cook it later tonight.
Well, I was kind of thinking that we would just literally gut it and then just tie rope to it and us just literally drag it the rest of the way.
Oh
On
yeah,
its-
that'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, between the three of us, we've got rope use. and
Don't you have some sacks that we can just put it in?
I suppose I do have a sack we could probably just put it in, but someone's got to carry it then.
Oh, I can carry it.
Oh, if you can carry it, then Vaughn, I'm already moving a little slow here. I'll just let you do that then. And I'll give him one of my sacks.
How big is this sheep are we talking?
300 pounds.
Without the guts?
If you kill the
that's like-
guts in it, then you'll probably drop what? 30 pounds, 40
I'd
pounds?
say we could easily drop about half of the weight and stuff
80,
that
100 pounds probably?
finish in time.
Yeah. Take off the head because you're not going to eat the head, and the head weighs a lot with the horns and the skull and everything. Chop off the legs, the bottoms of the legs. Let the guts out. Maybe let some blood drain out. You could lose some weight that way. Maybe you could bring it down to
Like all the
150.
internal organs, like
Yeah.
all those. Although you can still eat those, I wouldn't put that as a survival sort of food.
Yeah.
How far away are we looking to carry this?
Oh, just we want to make it
way.
further south, closer towards these supposed lights, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. As far as we can go is the honest answer.
Okay. Yeah, I think as far as the stuff that my character can actually carry, because my guy is strong as fuck. Yeah, I think he can carry with encumbrance. I think up to severe encumbrance. I don't know how much. Oh,
Sure, but if you're going to drag something, then you're not having to lift its full weight, and you can haul something with at half its effective weight if you're just dragging it.
Oh, okay, okay. And then
That'll work.
We all doing this together?
We can if you need us to
Yeah.
help you.
Yeah, sure.
I think between the three of you, you can do it. You might be enough on your own, Vaughn, but if not, the others will help in, and you guys can haul the bighorn sheep carcass along the way.
Okay.
Let's do our encounter checks for the day. So now you've got 4 days of food plus the sheep. So you guys should be set for 4 rations, 4 person days of food plus the sheep. So you guys should be set for a while. That first day has no encounters, but by the end of the day, you do enter into the bog.
Perfect.
It's sort of just wet, soppy ground everywhere. It's not really too messy. There's some bigger pools where it gets like really swampy, but everything else is just kind of like damp soil everywhere. Although as the sun goes down, the insects come out, and the bog is a loud place in the evening. Frogs, crickets, mosquitoes, all the lovely
Cicadas.
creatures, cicadas.
Loud as fuck.
Yeah, they are. Nice
Oh.
little sons of bitches.
Golly, so many bugs out here. So many. Good thing we got this goblin tent with us. Otherwise, I think this would be a horrible evening.
Who knows? Maybe the smell actually scares the bugs away. I don't blame them.
Well, maybe if I cook this food close enough to this tent, maybe we can get some of the goblin smell out. Maybe we can infuse it with at least some food smell. It might get a little better, maybe.
Maybe. Joko, do you happen to have any salt or preservation in there?
I don't have much for preservation, unfortunately.
Okay.
It's going to have to be a pretty quick cook. I can probably maybe cook it long enough to make some jerky, but we'll have to see how this meat goes.
Better than nothing.
I haven't cooked sheep in a while.
Yeah. Let's cook some good meat for dinner and breakfast and then turn the rest into jerky.
That sounds good to me.
The process of turning something to jerky will probably take you, how long does that take? When in an unoptimal setup, not like a nice smoker, but like...
I mean, I was thinking really just put it over the fire and just...
Like
just cook
shitty
it all
jerky.
morning.
Not like
Yeah, shitty jerky, not good jerky. Just...
Right.
Like jerky that'll last a couple
2 or 3
days, not
days.
jerky that'll last a month.
Sure. Is that like... Is
I'm
that
just
a
thinking
day
put
of
it over-
cooking? Of how long do you cook it to do that? Does anyone know? Has anyone made jerky?
I actually don't know.
I don't know. I would imagine you could put it over the fire and dry it out pretty quick, though. I would imagine that would take a full day. If you kept it over the fire all night, you could probably do it pretty easy. You cook what you want that evening, tie the rest up above the fire, and just let it sit there till the morning.
Get it dried out and tough and difficult to chew?
Yeah, it's not ideal, but it'll preserve longer. It might not be the best jerky, but it'll last longer than the raw meat.
Okay. Well, you guys can do this. You build yourself a fire. You make a little rack over it, hang your strips of sheep, and then someone's gonna have to stay up and tend to the fire to make sure that it's hot enough to keep going. So someone's got to keep watch at all points in time to tend to the fire.
Right, but I think we'd take turns doing watch anyway, right?
Perfect. In that situation,
I've got a cooking proficiency, if that's what you're looking for.
Ooh, it's not.
Oh.
But that's good. I was hoping to get a perception check from someone what is the order of watches? That's the non-loaded way of asking this question.
I think I'd probably be first, right? Because I'd be getting the meat set up how it needs to be, so they just have to tend to it the rest of the evening.
Okay.
I think that's the logical progression.
I'll take the
Alright.
mid-watch.
And I'll take the last watch.
Perfect. Joka, can you give me a perception check while you're on watch? Because there's something out there difficult to spot. You'd have to be paying close enough attention to really notice it in the distance.
You sure you don't want like an intelligence check to see it out there? You sure you want perception?
Yeah, I'm really sure about that.
Okay.
But you don't notice it.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Okay. Nothing bothers you in the night. You have no idea what was out there. Not that there ever was anything. And we can go on to the next day. On your way to Peatsburg. Your jerky came out okay. Some of it's a little bit burned. Some of it's a little bit raw. But you got some good sections in there. You know, this is your first time doing this thing. It's
And the burned shit, that can just be like emergency rations.
Mhm.
Like, it's edible.
Yeah.
Technically
Worth a
speaking.
lot, but
And for the stuff that's still kind of raw in the jerky, I want to cut it off and cook it for breakfast, so that way we don't have the raw and the cook together. We'll kind of
Smart
section
man.
that.
Very smart. Okay. Your next day continues traveling through the bog. It is slow going, having to kind of pull your foot out of one mess and sink it into another, and you don't get nearly as far as you were hoping to in that day. You don't even make it to Peatsburg. You're just coming down the peninsula, trying to pick your way through the muck. There are plenty of creatures that you see. You even see some poisonous snakes, but only at a distance. None of them come anywhere near you, and you manage to avoid all encounters that day. Where's our calendar?
I
That's
wouldn't
good.
want to get bit by one of those snakes there. I don't think that'd be very good for us.
I agree.
It's not the
Especially
environment I'm
cleric.
used to traveling in.
It's not my ideal woods either, that's for sure.
On the 12th of January, you make it into Peatsburg. It is in a similar state to Tassel, completely ruined and sacked. Part of the town looks to have been built, had some structure built in it to keep it from falling into the bog, and that structure has been ripped apart. And part of the town, there was a corner wall in this one area that's just toppled into the bog over here. The buildings in the back of it are all burned down. This town did not have a lot of stone structures, and they're the few things that are standing. So you get a spire of a church, but the rest of the building is crumpled. And you get the jailer's office, which is surprisingly still intact, including the passageway down into the dungeons below. But this place is
Ooh, what do we find in the dungeon?
burned.
Lovely.
In the dungeons, you find a cell door that has been ripped off its hinges, and the bars sort of twisted and bent as if by some monstrous force, ripping it open.
What are the bars made out of?
Brass.
Brass. Okay. Sorry, that's all I had.
Yep, that's that.
Well, let's scour the town. I doubt there's anything valuable left, but it never hurts to check.
That's true. Maybe we can find a little place to set up first. We can look around here. Then maybe tonight we can see those lights and get our bearings for the morning.
Okay.
Sounds like a good idea.
Can we find a hidey hole house that's got a one in, one out kind of thing, or relatively fortified, or is it just...
The jail cell is really well fortified. Stone walls, single passage down into a tight underground area with some cells that have more space to work in.
What about the jailer's office itself?
That's fine too. That'll work.
Yeah. I just don't feel right sleeping down there. Gives me the creeps.
I understand, but it'd be a good place to keep some of our stuff. It doesn't look like anything can get to it down here. Maybe we can leave some of our equipment to make us move quicker.
Can we find the keys to the jail cells?
Yeah. Why don't you all give me perception checks for your searching of the town? And that'll be including the jail cell keys. 16, 11. Oh, nice. Vaughn comes through at the end. You don't find the keys to the cell, but in the church, you're kind of kicking over boards and knocking some stuff around, and you find the remains of a table. It was probably belonging to one of the clerics here. It's in the far back right corner of the church footprint. And in this burned out, ruined table, there's a drawer that still sort of functions, and when you pull it open, you find a single gemstone. It's sort of a pale yellow color, but a good size. And you also find some papers with writing on them, but the script looks weird. It doesn't look like the common script that you would use to write Mistryan, the language that you speak.
Okay.
Maybe we should save these letters for Ebnur. He'll be able to tell us what they say.
I would think so, and maybe if it's beyond Ebnur, I know there's that wizard in town. Maybe he could be of some use on these.
Oh, true.
Absolutely.
Well,
all right then.
I think you've been holding on to our wealth here, Mr. Ebnur, or Jeb. I'm sorry, Jeb.
No, it's been a long couple days. I understand, it happens. Yes, I'll take this gemstone. What color is it, Neil?
Yellow.
It's light yellow.
Would I be able to make any kind of check on it to just tell what kind of gem it is, because I'm a miner?
This is a good opportunity for you to tell us a little bit about your backstory. What sort of mine did you work in? Was it a metal mine or a gemstone mine or some other type of mine?
Well, seeing as does Scoria care about gemstones or only precious metals like gold and things?
She loves gemstones. Oh yeah.
She loves gemstones. Okay. I mean, does it have to be one or the other, or?
Yeah, you would have specialized in one type. You would have had most of your experience with one type of mine.
Okay.
So pick a type of mine.
You'd probably be in one of the precious metals, considering the impact you'd want to make.
Yeah. Well, I mean, since she cares about gemstones too, right? No, I think I was just a precious metals guy. Yeah, I think that makes a little bit more sense given that what I had in mind for the character, at least.
Okay.
So I'm getting
and what sort of metal? Silver, gold. Actually, I don't think there's any gold mines in Mistrya. Silver. There's a mithril mine, but that's very special. You couldn't have worked there. Maybe there's a platinum.
Right.
Let's see. What sort of precious metals can you find in Mistrya? For those who are interested, I am taking a look at that sheet, which I've just posted in Twitch chat, which has all the resources for all the towns, because I'm crazy like that. So awesome. You've got tin is available. Silver would be not available. That's Half Hill and Slagmire, which are nowhere near you. Gems is near Foghaven. That's not near you. There's no... zinc would have been available.
I don't think she has the use for zinc.
No. Lead, she wouldn't want. Gold is in Old Voden. That's a little too far south. I'm sorry, that's chalk. Gold is in Thaben. Where's Thaben?
Half Hill and Slagmire have the silver mine, according to this shit.
Yeah, but you guys were closer to Dawngate, Honey Reach, and Stout End. So
sure.
Dawngate, Stout End, and Honey Reach. What did they have for metals? It just looks like tin, zinc.
Does she want tin or zinc? No, she wouldn't want tin or zinc.
Glass, arms, furs. Okay, so we'll have to say that there was a small silver mine nearby. Not a high-producing silver mine. Maybe like an old one that had since sort of run dry, but you guys are still there picking out the last little bits of it.
Sure. I mean, that would explain why so many places around here seem to be somewhat destitute, right? Like, there's just not a whole lot that she cares about here, it seems like,
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were a silver miner?
Sure, yeah.
Cool. So if ever anything pertaining to silver comes up, you will be the expert.
Cool.
In the meantime, you're here in Peatsburg. You find this gem. Oh, I was rolling for the value of the gem. And I don't know, it's a yellow gem. What does it mean to you guys? It's fucking yellow.
Maybe we can talk with Mr. Garrett. Maybe he'll know. Or maybe we can save this for a rough month and take it to Stromheim, just like Mr. Ebnur wanted to do, which is starting to look more and more like a very good plan. Because if we exchange this for silver, one gemstone may gain us too much attention.
This is true.
That's true. That's true. We should be careful. We don't want Scoria to think we're holding wealth back from her, though. Well, I guess it's being shipped back anyway. She wouldn't know where it's coming from. As long as we send back the right amount, we don't want to put the town in any jeopardy. If we send back the right amount every time, there's no way they can get caught doing something if they're not doing it.
Yeah, we send back the 100 silver to pay the taxes, and then whatever we don't need to sustain ourselves, we can send back in copper for the people of the town to use to better their lives.
That sounds well. Let's put it in something downstairs and lock it up, I suppose. Or what time of day is it? How late in the day do we get here, Neil?
Probably like early afternoon.
Yeah, early afternoon.
And then we spent the time searching the town, so it's.
And so by now it's evening. Yeah.
Well, let's eat some of this jerky, and then maybe we can get on top of this here house or jail cell, and look around. Maybe we can start seeing some of those lights, see what's around.
Perhaps. Mr. Garrett did talk about finding all that iron down here. Maybe we can find some iron, send that back to town now. That would surely bring our people some good times if they had a shipment of iron come in.
Yeah, that would be.
That does sound like a good idea.
They're not like iron, but I know some farmers back home who would very much appreciate an iron hoe or an iron plow.
Oh, always.
Anything to make them have a easier time of it. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, my friends, it sounds like we're ready for dinner, though. Y'all ready to eat some of this fantastic jerky?
Oh, yes, I'm quite ready.
Oh,
All right. You guys can munch on jerky, munch on the nuts and roots and berries and grasses.
Skinny and still fat. Soy boy body, why nobody bragging about that? Not to be demeaning, but your true calling is carpet cleaning, just to get ready for that switch. The day's coming when you're banned on Twitch, and I'm gonna be screaming, ha ha, look at that bitch. That's what I got, boys. Is that fire? Did I get pogs or did I get ha-has?